what what I will do is record it now, okay, and then make that available for you, okay.
Okay.
So that will go ahead and answer, everything that you need, okay. And sorry for your
Okay.
loss.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, take care of yourself, take care of your family. So if you need to go, right, this is only going to take about 40 minutes max. But if you need to go, by all means, step out.
Um, I can join, but is it okay if I'm just here? If you're receiving noise, are you receiving a lot of noise
Yeah, you
from
can
my
go ahead
end?
and mute. You can go ahead and mute yourself. That's
Okay,
fine.
I'll
Okay,
just join.
sure. Okay, so welcome everyone. Um, Thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to sharing some information on things you already know, things that you want to know. We have with us also Robert Adamo, who is our our IT and SEO wizard. Um,
Hello, everybody.
he's
Thank you.
he's not on video.
My
Uh,
camera is broken right now. Sorry.
This is always the IT people always have the greatest problems, but that's okay. So he's just going to go ahead and join, and he's going to be available to you as we move forward in the future, depending on things that you'll need to progress. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit of a background on One Planet, One People. And then I'm going to go into the two different programs more in depth that we talked about previously, okay? And also how the trial works and everything else, and then what it's like after we go ahead and have you come on board. So I'm going to share screen. And, one of the things that we always go ahead and ask, right, when we connect with people is, what is your mission, right? What's the cause that you want to support? And One Planet, One People, and Planet Acts of Kindness programs are based on collaboration between people, institutions, and countries, and are built on the principles of civility, equality, diversity, action, inclusion, and sustainability. In other words, quality of life for all. And what you're going to find is our programs are fully customizable and scalable. And like we said previously, we have a lot of programs, over 40 different programs. Okay. We're only going to concentrate on a couple during your trial. So, why do we have all of these programs? And the reason is simple: we're at the tipping point for humanity. And this decade is going to determine quality of life for literally billions of people on the planet. And the problem is that the institutions, from governments to corporations to NGOs and NPOs, faith based and educational institutions, are all using the wrong approach to solving these problems. They're all using the fractional approach. So the thing is, even if you solve the problem in one small part of the world, the other issues are going to come along and overrun what you've done. Okay, so the only way that we're going to go ahead and succeed in pushing back on these issues is through collaboration. We've got to collaborate to succeed. We've got to collaborate to survive. Okay, and that's what all of our programs are built around. So this is just information which you'll have access to about the book series that we have and what are the benefits for organizations. So what we do is we help organizations boost their CSR, HR, PR, branding, ROI, and company culture. Instead of just going ahead and having a CSR program that supposedly helps with outreach and engagement, right, with shareholders and stakeholders, we go ahead and benefit four groups: the company itself, we benefit the employees, right, and contractors, we benefit the shareholders and stakeholders, and we benefit kids, people, and the planet. So when they go ahead and collaborate with us through any of our programs, we always have these four groups in mind. And how many of you have been to our website, CSR Benefits Hub, if you have, right, you know how to go ahead and hold up your hand, right, on the, on the chat, on the Zoom. So raise your hand if you've been there. If you haven't, right, seems like a lot of you haven't yet. Okay. You'll need to go there. Okay, so you can have a better understanding of what we go ahead and do. And that link was provided in the chat, or excuse me, in the emails previously. We can always put it in the chat. Now, one of the things that you'll be working on is our 16 Things book series. So it's entitled 16 Things We All Can Do to Act Right and Help Save the Planet. And each book focuses on a different aspect of the SDGs. If you don't know what the SDGs are, right, you will very quickly. They're the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. There's 17 of them. You don't have to memorize them in terms of, what they are, but you're actually going to pick one that you're interested in, and that's going to be the focus of the book that you're going to work on. And what you're going to be doing is inviting featured experts to be interviewed on Zoom so that what they share can be included in the book. Okay. And, right, there's different books. So these are some of the issues: civility and kindness, sustainability, leadership, mental health and wellness, entrepreneurship, right? Pollution, poverty, inequalities, education. These are some of the different ways that the book covers can be done. Okay. And this is the information on how we go and work with featured experts. Okay. So it's a 30-minute Zoom interview, and this takes you through the steps. And then, right, this is the power of what we do with the books in terms of outreach and engagement. We can produce anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 books with a circulation of 50,000 to 500,000. We can go ahead and have people attend our workshops, and they're free. Anyone who has the book can set up a workshop. They're 8 to 12 weeks. They go through the material. They read what what the problem is, what the normal course of action is, which is not a good thing, and then what the expert says needs to be done to solve that problem and why. And then over the course of the workshops, right, the attendees can form into smaller groups to take action on a local, national, or global scale. And again, here are the 4 benefits that come out of our collaborative efforts. So all the information, right, that I'm speaking about is in the materials that we give out. And this is background information, how to stand out from the crowd. Well, it's harder than ever before. So the thing is that when you collaborate with us, we make it easier, right, for organizations and sponsors to go ahead and do that. And then these are the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. There's 17 of them, like I said, everything from poverty to hunger to good health and well-being. Okay. And you'll be able to go ahead and say, hey, I'm interested in doing, working with featured experts on, good health and well-being. Okay. Or it could be an eclectic mix of things because you're doing a leadership book. Okay. Something like that. So there's variety. This is just partners and supporters of One Planet and Planned Acts. Everyone from the Peace Corps to Google, right, where we've been in the news, media outlets. So that is an overview. Okay. Anyone have any questions or comments really quickly on this? Not in terms of what you're going to be doing and everything else, the logistics and all that. We'll get into that, right? But anyone want to share anything about what I've gone over? You can unmute if you'd like to. Nope. Everybody good? If you're good, raise your hand. If you can raise your physical. If you don't know how to raise the hand on the you know, in Zoom, right, there are somebody, right, Alyssa, right, raise her hand. Okay. You can go ahead and do it physically, manually. Yes. Lynn, you had a question or something?
Do we have a copy of these?
You'll get copies of
Uh,
whatever you need.
okay. All right.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now let me close this. And close a few other things. Okay. And what we're going to do is, these are spreadsheets that we create. They're called action packs. If you see that there's a series of tabs at the bottom of the spreadsheet, can everyone see that? Okay, where it says review forms connections. Okay, this is following the project management system that we created called the PMORO system. PMORO stands for project management and the 4 components that go into project management: objective, research, outline, and spreadsheet. So the last component of project management is how you track and manage your work. And these are spreadsheets that you're going to utilize in order to help you do that. Okay, and you're going to, when we teach the CSR work-life balance course, one of the first things that we do is teach people in management how to do the PMORO system. Okay, because it's an extremely effective way to do it. And even if they've got certified in project management or whatever, this is a streamlined, real world based program. So the thing is that, you know, as many of you know, I teach undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate students from top universities and colleges around the country. And I have a tremendous number of international students also who go through the programs. And it doesn't matter what discipline they come from, project management is not something that's part of their curriculum, along with a whole host of other things that they really need to be successful on the management level. Okay, so we go ahead and teach these things in real world situations. Okay, so you will learn how to go ahead and do this yourself the longer you're with our organization. So one of the first things that we have here are the steps that go into the trial. Did everyone get their trial form that was sent out this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
make sure you complete that, please, today. Get that in right after or during this meeting. Okay, then attending the orientation, which you're doing, you're going to also select the book subject that you're interested in. And then also with the corporate social responsibility work-life balance course, there's multiple industries that we're going to go ahead and target initially. So the thing is that you might be interested in IT companies. You might be interested in financial services companies. You might be interested in retail organizations. You might be interested in hospitality. So the thing is that you'll be given a grouping of these and you'll select what you're interested in. We don't want to go ahead and say, hey, right, Jessa, this is what you've got to do. Okay, that might be your previous work. That's not what we're doing. Okay, we want to create win-win-win situations, right, where you get to be the hero, where you focus on things that you're interested in as well, that are going to have major impact, right, with institutions and individuals. Now, another thing that you should know is that we work with 5 groups of individuals and we work with 5 types of institutions. Okay. Now, the individuals are, everyone from students, employees, owners, right, retirees, and the unemployed, and the institutions I talked about previously. As an organization, during COVID, we made the decision to stop working on a small scale, right, through individuals, and only focus on working with the institutions at an extremely high level, where we can go from the top down to impact thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Because we don't have billions of dollars, right, to go ahead and impact individuals on an individual basis. For the amount of work that we do, it's much easier for the amount of time that it takes, it's much easier to go ahead and connect with the institutions through the types of programs that we have, where they can adopt and collaborate with us through our scalable programs and have a much more advantageous result. Okay, so that's the approach that we use. Instead of going to individual churches, if we want to go ahead and reach faith-based, right, we go to, right, the heads of the districts or the heads of the church, right, in order to go ahead and have a much greater impact, because they can go ahead and work on getting our programs throughout their network. Same thing in education. By the time it takes us to go into an individual school, we could have gone into a district or into a region or a state. So you follow this? And that will govern how you make connections with institutions. Got it? Okay. Make sense to anybody? If it makes sense, right, shake your head yes. Okay. And Ace, right, you're not on video. Okay. So the thing is, what we're then going to do is set the schedule, review materials. We're going to have a kickoff meeting as well, where we're going to go through things again and a little bit more specifically, answer any questions you have. And then we're going to start the outreach and engagement. You'll be able to do daily reporting, right? You'll have a daily Zoom meeting. You'll do a summary report at the end, and then we'll do a trial wrap up and then next steps. Okay. And like I said, we've got multiple positions open and we have flexibility as well. So anyone who's interested in working with the organization from these meetings, right, you've been selected already out of a pool of applicants. We didn't accept everybody. Okay. So you already have qualities, right, that we're interested in having associated with our organization and represented in our organization. So when you're interested in us, we're going to create something that's going to be suitable for you. Okay. So these are the trial steps that we're going to go through. And then when you click on a tab, it's going to correspond to some additional information that you can go ahead and read. You don't have to memorize it. And this is a deeper dive into, right, each of the programs. And as we get through this in just a little bit, you're going to see that you don't have to know this information. You don't have to memorize this. You don't have to get an MBA degree in what we're doing to get started. Okay. We're going to make it very simple, and it's maybe different than anything you've ever experienced before in terms of how you've done your work. Okay. But you've got to go ahead and trust the system. Okay, what we do is we develop systems to solve problems. Okay, and as you gain more experience, you can learn more and more. And like I said, within 3 to 6 months, you can take on more and more responsibility. That's the goal for some of you, right? And you can move up and up in the organization. Okay, so this gives information on the work-life balance course. Of course, this is also on the CSR benefits website. And then there's form pages that are linked in our Google Drive, and those can be filled out depending on what your engagement is, and you'll have an opportunity to go through these. So you might fill out, right, your professional success team profile initially. Okay, so this is just another background form with a little bit different information that you would fill out. Okay. You know, Zoom always gets in the way. That's the book one. Too many windows open. Okay. So let's see. We are here. We are here. And we're at the action pack. Okay. So there's different forms. There's contact forms also. So when you're making connections with people, let's see if I can go ahead. So there's a contact tracking form that you would utilize. So, okay, what program are you working on right now? Well, I'm working on the course program. With the course, your objective is to go ahead and do a survey, right, with the connection. You're going to ask them a series of questions, right? Market research survey, and you're going to go ahead and put in their information, okay, and how you made the connection. Okay. And getting back to the form. Let's see if this is the right, okay. So with the connections, you're going to go ahead and, like I said, depending on what you're doing, we already have databases that we've compiled of connections. So depending on what industry you're interested in, then we have different industries that we can provide you with. So hospitality. We're not going to give you all of these. Okay, that's a little too much to do in a 10-hour trial. Okay, and then there's other things that can be sorted as well. Okay, and then you have, all their contact information, you have emails, you've got phone numbers, okay? And like we said, also, we're concentrating on the ones in the United States, even though we have international. And later, when you're working, on a full-time basis and you want to do a different area, you'll discuss it and we can go ahead and get you set up to do, a different country and how that works. Okay. So we have tremendous number of these types of databases, and we have subscriptions to where we can actually do additional research into contacts. So If you identify several companies that you want to go into, it's not in your database, we can always, right, research it, find out who the connections are. And what you're going to find is, depending on what we're doing, it's not just one connection in a company that's appropriate. There's literally a half a dozen people in a company that can go ahead and be connected, so that any one of them can make the decision to go ahead and work and collaborate with us. So you can be contacting multiple people in the same company, right, by phone, through LinkedIn, and lastly, email. The preferred is call, then email, right, or LinkedIn, and then follow up. Okay. Engagement. Okay, this is, right, two types of engagement scripts. And can everyone see this okay? Okay, good. So you can call, you can direct message people, okay, you can email, right, or direct message, right, through LinkedIn. And we're going to go, let's say, with the second one. And when you do these, if generally you want to follow what's here, okay? And you don't want to get into, as you'll see, a tremendous amount of detail about the actual programs. That's not the purpose of how you make this initial round of engagement. When it's time to do that, we'll be doing that. And you'll be in on the conversation so that you can learn more as we go along. But we're the experts. We have, let's say, the advanced degrees in what we're doing. Later, after you've spent time in the organization and you've learned how to communicate the information effectively, right, then you'll be able to go ahead and share. But we want everyone saying the same thing with using same language, okay? So that it's not just chaos all over the world. That's not a good thing. If we've got, people in Philippines saying one thing, people in South Sudan, Africa saying another, people in Malaysia saying another, people in Brazil saying it, and then in the same cities, it's all different, okay, as well. So that's why we've got to pretty much follow, right, the information. But the thing is, if you think that there's a better way to do it after you've tried it this way, you can always come back and say, hey, Lyle, right, what about this? Okay. And we can discuss. So one of the things you can say is educator and entrepreneur Lyle Benjamin, the founder of my MPO, One Planet, One People, is creating a groundbreaking course that combines the benefits of CSR, work-life balance initiatives, and shareholder stakeholder engagement and loyalty. We're looking for high-level HR and management people like yourself to do a quick 10-minute market research meeting, right, on Zoom. And as a thank you, we'll give you access to our CSR, HR, PR, branding, and revenue checkup. Right? If you're willing to help me out, are you willing to help me out with this quick market research survey? That's all it takes. It takes literally 1 minute to say this. If they are, you can say, right, here's the Zoom. I can give you the Zoom link right now. Okay. Can you go ahead and we can jump on? Okay. So the thing is that this is how you do engagement. We make it really simple. And then these are the interview questions. Okay. Which of these areas are most critical for you and your company in 2025? CSR, right? Corporate social responsibility, employee recruitment, retention, and productivity, or shareholder stakeholder engagement. When it comes to this topic, what are the biggest challenges you're facing? And the thing is that these questions are actually in a form. So for each person that you speak with, you're just going to fill out the form. So automatically you're going to go into a spreadsheet. Really simple. Okay. Your objective is to go ahead and do those, as many as you can, right? And then also, right, switching over, right, for the book, we have also, right, our action steps, okay, for the book. So it works the same way. You can review. There are different ways that they can do the book, but you don't have to get into those. Those are what we're going to do later on. Okay. There's forms. There's, well, they're not in here. There's experts that we can go ahead and you're going to choose, like I said, what area of engagement you want to do. And then you're going to invite them to a Zoom meeting where we ask a series of interview questions. Now, during the trial, you won't be doing any of the interview questions, right, like this, okay? That's for when you're actually working later on. The initial thing that you are going to be doing is contacting people who are potentially featured experts. And then having them say, sure, send me information, right? Following up and getting them to say, yes, right, I want to be interviewed. I want to appear in your book. And that's it. Okay. So those are the two areas that we have that you'll be working on. And let me go back. Featured book, featured book. That. This is what happens when you have. Okay, we'll go back to this. Go back to this and go back to, oops, the drive. And we'll go back to the course. Okay. Now, the last thing that I'm going to discuss right now is that for the trial, what we're doing, it's 10 hours, right? It's really just to go ahead and have you get familiar with what we're doing. You know, we might go ahead and have, you know, 6 or 8 people go ahead and do that, right? We're going to give you a stipend for doing it, just $25 US, okay? And the way that we pay is, I don't know if you have Zelle, okay, or any of those services, right? Zelle is available, correct? So we go ahead and pay through that. But the thing is that when you are brought in, we're going to have a contract. It's a month-to-month contract initially, and the starting date is December 11th. And there is a base pay of 400 US, and then there's bonuses based upon what you do. And the bonuses are significant, okay? The base is just to go ahead, right, and take care of your, you know, whatever, your monthly needs. The bonuses are designed to go ahead and reward you for work that you do in a very high level. So if you go ahead and you successfully do the featured experts in a book, and you're going to see how this works, and then work on sponsorship, right? Your bonus could be doubling what you earn in terms of your base. And the thing is that you're working on multiple programs at a time. So your compensation can be multiple levels of compensation at one time during the course of 1 month. You're not limited to just, okay, well, they got the bonus on the books, and now we're not going to give them bonuses on the course. That's not the way it works. Okay, so there's different bonus structures, and that will all be in the employment agreement or the work agreement, the contractor agreement that you get. Everything will be in a schedule. It'll all be spelled out. Okay, so it'll be very clear. Okay, so the next step is, right, what I would like you to do is go into the chat and add your name and your, I already have your emails, but you can go ahead and add your name and type in after your name the words next step. Okay. When I go ahead and you can put that your name and next step, you can do it directly to me. And then what will happen is tonight, we're going to go ahead and get you additional information so that tomorrow we're going to have another meeting and we're going to start onboarding you. Okay. So you'll have some information to go ahead and review tonight in terms of just the information that I've gone over already. So this way you can review it, and you have any questions tomorrow during the onboarding meeting, you can ask. If you ask a question, that might help somebody else. Right? And honestly, the more times you listen to, right, us talk about what we're doing, the more beneficial it is for you. One of the things that you'll be able to do during the trial, but also especially during when you're working, is you have a question about something, you don't have to go ahead and wait 2 days to go ahead and get in touch. You text through, we use WhatsApp, you text directly to myself or whoever you're gonna you need to speak with, and you say, hey, I've got a question. And if it's something that we can answer through direct messaging, WhatsApp, we'll do it. If it's a little bit more complicated and we need to jump on Zoom for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to give you that information, we jump on Zoom and we do it. The more meetings that you have with us, the more successful you're going to be. If we only hear, right, the results of your reporting and you're not talking to us, no bueno. Okay. So the thing is, one of the things that I teach in terms of essential skills is there are 8 essential skills that people need to have for their career development. And if you go into our websites and you look at this stuff, you'll see this information in there. Communication, business, marketing, management, office technology, research, problem solving, and time management. We're going to teach you all of those at a higher level, regardless of what level you're at, right? Remember, we teach MBAs, we teach postgraduate, PhDs, right? People who've been in the workforce 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Okay? So this is going to help you tremendously with your career, but we want you to have a long career with us. Okay. So I promise to keep it 40 minutes. Okay? And that's what I'm doing, right? The next meeting will be, I believe, 10 a.m. tomorrow is what? Is that 11 a.m. your time at night? Yeah, so that's too late.
Yeah.
So we'll email out a schedule, and right, you'll just you can respond like you always do to that. Okay.